Couch looks nice. That's a good start. What's going on, everyone? How's your day going? As you can see, I'm pushing P. I'm pushing Peter, so that's cool. Got the pants from Goodwill. Got the top from Goodwill. Actually, my mom got me the shirt from Goodwill, which that's even cooler. I'm in one of those moods where my brain can't stop thinking. That's not a bad thing, but I just thought maybe I would harness all these inner thoughts and use them and apply them to this video. I know we have a lot of messages in the inbox, so hopefully we can apply some of this pontification going on in my head. Pontification? If you're new here, this is the show where thousands of people write me messages, and sometimes they ask for advice, sometimes they ask me questions, and sometimes they just tell us stories. And I read those in front of the camera here. What do you do on days when you don't feel good or confused about life? That's often, my friend. That's often. I'm kidding, actually. I'm pretty lucky. My chemicals are typically pretty well balanced, but there are days where I don't feel good, and there's a lot of days where I'm confused about life. So I think I'll be able to answer this with some experience. I guess this is sort of a two-part question. What do you do on days when you don't feel good? It depends on why I don't feel good, because it's okay to not feel good. It's perfectly fine. And there's a myriad of reasons why someone doesn't feel good. But the first step is determining what's going on. Why are you feeling the way you do? Why don't you feel good? Is it something someone said to you? Is it something you can't control? Is it something you did? Are you bringing up memories from your past and it's making you feel uncomfortable? What's going on? Why are you not feeling good? So first step, determine why you're not feeling good. Second step, what can you do after you determine it? Sometimes the problem's out of your hand and you can't do anything about it. You kind of just have to let time take its course. That's not easy, but it's sometimes the necessary route. Now, if the question is you don't feel good about your life, then the answer remains the same. You have to determine what you don't feel good about. It can't just be your life. You have to break it down into parts. Are you not happy with your family life? Are you not happy with your relationship life? Are you not happy with your career? Are you not happy with your studies? Are you not happy with your friendships? I think you have to determine what's going on and what you're not happy with, what you don't feel good about, and then you go from there. Now, again, I think it's easier said than done. It's really easy for me to sit here and say, oh, well, all you have to do is determine what's wrong. It's not easy to determine a problem, but it is necessary. Just because it's not easy doesn't mean it's unnecessary. So, my friend, I guess I'm going to ask you, what don't you feel good about? Pinpoint it, okay? Map it out in your head, put a pin in it, and say, okay, this is what I do not feel good about. You know, sometimes we have problems and we don't address them. Instead, we sort of sulk in our emotions. And that's fine to sulk. You're able to. But it's really important to then get out of that and then figure out what's wrong. So if you're in the mood right now where you're just not happy about your life, that's okay. But make sure you don't stay there. You can be there for a little bit. That's okay. You can feel down. That's completely normal. But you have to eventually get yourself back out. And only you can do that. You can have support from your friends. You can have support from your family, relationship. But only you can really get yourself out of a hole if you're not feeling good. And the first step is determining why you're not feeling good. I've said that like 10 times. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but that's what I would do if I'm not feeling good. Now, the second part of this question, what do you do when you feel confused about life? I think the same rule applies. What are you confused about? The most important thing to notice here is that this is your life. Okay, and since it's your life, you have complete control over it. So I know it feels like sometimes you don't have control over your life. You know, you think people are answering for you, you think people are talking for you, and that could be happening. But at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is, it is your life. So it can feel like a burden, but it is your responsibility to figure out what's going on. And then once I have that moment of self-reflection, then I'm able to say, okay, what am I going to do about this confusion, this perplexion? What am I going to do about not feeling good, about feeling down? Okay, that one was really quick. I hope I answered it sufficiently. If I didn't, people in the comments, help me out here. Do you have any help for our friend that is asking this question? Any advice for teenagers that want to discover the world, but at the same time are scared? Yeah, I have advice on this. I don't know if it's necessarily sound advice, but it is the advice that I adhere to, and it's the advice that I took. Let's say, for instance, you live in a small town, okay, or a city. Let's say, for instance, you live somewhere, okay? Your first step isn't to go completely across the world. What you first need to do is discover the world around you. You know, there's always beauty no matter where you are. So wherever you are, find that beauty. And then after that, go a little bit bigger. It doesn't have to be on such a macro scale where you go thousands of miles your first trip. Start small, Okay, you want to discover the world. Eventually, you want to get to 5,000 miles away from your starting point. So to get to that 5,000 miles, go 10 miles. Okay, what's the neighborhood around where you live? Is it cool? And then after you discover that neighborhood, go to the next one. And then go to the city over. Take one of your buddies and do a weekend trip to that place. Do a 2-day trip. Do a 1-day trip. I don't know, but just do something small, incremental, right? That's the key here, increments. And when you can do things incrementally, when you can have patience, that's whenever you'll start seeing beautiful things, because it's not about the destination, it's about the journey along the destination. You can't just jump into going to these big places because it's going to freak you out. You're going to have a culture shock. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, you're going to have a culture shock if you go too far too quickly. And who knows, maybe you want to go 5,000 miles away from home, and within those 5,000 miles, mile 1,000, you find the most beautiful spot that you never thought you would have loved, but you love it. And now you want to call that home. So it was cool you did the increments, you know? I think above all, know that it's okay to be scared, but understand that you can go at your own pace. No one is rushing you to have to do these giant voyages immediately. You can have fun, you can enjoy the little things around you, and slowly enjoy the little things around that. Traveling is supposed to be fun. Exploring the world is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be stressful and give you anxiety. If you're scared to do it, it's okay, you don't have to do it. Take it one step at a time. Literally one step at a time. And by the time you get to that millionth step, you're going to be happy that you took all those steps before it. Just remember that it's okay to feel this way. We all feel confused sometimes. We all don't feel good. We all get scared, whether it's about traveling or life in general. So just know that you're doing great. You're normal. It's fine. And you're going to figure it out. I hope this video was able to help the 2 people that asked the questions. I hope it was also able to help anyone watching this video. Again, I don't have the most sound advice, but I do have advice from my lived experiences, so I hope it was able to help. I will see you all in the next video. This was a lot of fun to do. I can't wait to keep making more of these. Okay, bye-bye.